Hi, I'm Jay, and this is Stephen F. Austin State Park. Finally.
You might recall that I've been here before, but the park was cleaning itself up after Hurricane Beryl. This time I drove in from the north and therefore happened upon the site of San Felipe de Austin, a hub of commerce for a little over a decade in the colonial period. Little remains since, following their declaration of independence and the ensuing conflict with Mexico, the citizens of the town set it ablaze to keep it from falling into the hands of the Mexican army. Today, what is left stands as a testament to the efforts of Stephen Fuller Austin and his role as impresario, granting land and helping to settle Texas. As this inscription below his image reads, "No other state in the Union owes its existence more completely to one man than Texas does to Austin." Since I didn't grow up in Texas, I appreciated this history lesson, but I've come here for another reason, to visit the state park that bears Austin's name. I set out with my gear to hike the Barred Owl Trail and find something to paint. I first considered painting this clearing where everything was covered in this spreading vine. Everything! But I have a thing against baking in the sun, so I kept moving.
Sycamore Trail, full of sycamores. Barred Owl Trail, not so much.
Finally, I made it to my goal, the Brazos River.
I thought I was going to paint this, but I kind of like the sycamores. After I decided to pass on the Brazos, and I thought I might do a sycamore, I was hiking and wondering, well, how am I going to do that? They're absolutely massive, but I do like the bark. And then I noticed this tree behind me here is perfectly set against a very bright, it's almost washed out in this video, super bright blue sky. And so the trunk seems to change from a blue-gray at the bottom to a dark gray at the top. That's really fascinating to me. The other advantage is that this tree trunk is set right next to this one in the middle ground, so you can see the flakiness of the bark here, and then you see the paper white virtue of the sycamore behind it. I think that'll be fun. I think that's what I'm going to try, so let's get set up.
My palette consists of ivory black, burnt umber, cyan phthalo, alizarin crimson, a green mixture, and cadmium yellow lemon. As with any windy, partly cloudy day, the time comes to decide between two views.
Right now it's kind of hard to tell which view is going to persist longer with the clouds passing through. I actually like the cloudy version better in this case because it makes the contrast of the light against dark at the bottom with the tree trunk and the dark against light at the top more pronounced. The sunlight comes in, it's beautiful, it's filtered through the leaves, but I think I'd like to paint this view.
In the first 6 minutes of painting, sped up for you here, I work with a lot of mineral spirits thinning down the paint, and I want to set a backdrop for the image that I plan to paint over the top. Even though I want to emphasize the more distant trees, the two darker trees in the middle and foreground are large elements that help to place everything within the composition, so they go in first. Since they are dark, they'll also help with value relationships later. After a little bit of work to communicate depth in the clouds that keep rolling by, I get to this awesome sycamore tree, and with each stroke, I lighten the value to maintain a counterpoint with the tree in its background, dark against light at the top, and vice versa at the bottom.
I wish I had more time to keep going. The light's consistent enough I could probably go all afternoon. But Robert Frost said it best, way leads on to way, and I've got other parks to visit.
It might have taken 2 attempts over the course of several months, but I can finally cross SFA off my list.